say, for example, citizenship is based on ancestry.
Yes. It's a tribal country.
Okay. See, for me, see, if Nigeria being so diverse, if we actually want to move forward in a progressive manner, citizenship should not be based on ancestry, but based on where the individual is born. One, or two, where the individual has lived for a certain number of years. But number one should be where the individual is born. Or
really
maybe secondary should be, okay, your ancestry. So I may be, my parents may be from Delta, but I was born in Kano. So my parents can be from Delta, okay? But me, I'm from Kano. Okay? So if somebody like me, Ekene from Kano, and maybe Suleiman, whose parents are from Sokoto, but Suleiman was born in Ebonyi. Suleiman is from Ebonyi.
Yes.
Right? So if things like this happen, so that your name doesn't actually identify your state of origin. If this is common across the country, see, it will be very difficult for anyone to just hear your name and say you are this.
Yes. Question is, how do we make that happen?
Okay. Well,
because this thing you said, you know, circles back to this meritocracy, dysfunctional political system issue. So how do we make it happen? Right? It can implement a lot of policies. Education, you know,
education is the first thing.
I mean, that's like the bedrock, that's the foundation, right? But education will take you 15 to 20 years before you start getting.
See, this is a long-term project.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, if our father started it in 1960, I'm sure
okay, by now it would have been it would have been everywhere. Okay.
Yes. So, but I'm not even sure there's a consensus across the country now that, hey, you know what, this is the kind of education that we want or that we should have. And this thing about where you are born or where you've lived the most of your life being a better identifier than your ancestry, you know. So how do
I will tell you, yes, I speak Igbo, or I used to. I was born in Delta, but I'm more Yoruba than anything.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. See, you are Yoruba, I'll tell you today, 90% of my friends are Yorubas. 90% of my friends.
That's where you grew up. You grew up in Lagos.
Where I grew up.
Yes, expected. Right. So your identity should be Lagos.
It's Lagos. My identity. Okay. Exactly. Now you can still stay. I can still claim my state of origin as Delta because I was born there. So that's but I
don't think Lagos, claiming the state of origin state of origin means what at the end of the day?
Okay.
The state where your parents came from or where you are born.
Okay.
But it has very little bearing on the kind of individual you have become.
Yeah, exactly. I've lived all my life in Lagos. Before I came to the UK, I lived all my life in Lagos.
Yeah, exactly. If you didn't tell anybody, if you're walking on the street of Lagos and talking, nobody will
without anybody knowing my name.
Your name, everybody will just assume you are one of us. You get what I'm saying? So
I'm one of you.
Yes. Yes, 100%. Yeah. So, but my point is, so how do we make that happen? You know, because in a large tract of the country, you know, this ancestry thing is still so strong. And these are the points where we are divided. Yeah. Which means easy for the political merchants to take advantage of the people. Because without that unity, how do you put up a united front? Right? So it's a big challenge. And I know it's not just in Nigeria though. It's global. It's global. Well, the more tribal a society is,
no, it's actually I don't know if it's global anymore. Okay. I know in Tanzania they don't do anything about Tanzania. Everybody is Tanzania.
Let me give you an example. Take South Africa, for example. I mean, this xenophobia thing. That's actually what it is, in my opinion. It's for just a mild form of identity politics, which you can extend all the way to tribalism and racism, stuff like that. Oh, it's not from here, but it's been contributing to the progress of this place. Should you not be more interested in how much benefit this individual has brought to your environment than where he's from? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I said it's a global thing, but it tends to be stronger where the education level is very low. The lower the education level, the stronger the identity politics that you have.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Where the education level is higher, it tends to be, even if it's there, it tends to be a lot more hidden. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's just a spectrum, it's a progression from xenophobia to tribalism to racism. For me, it's all part of identity politics.
Yeah.
So, but in the case of Nigeria itself, how do you solve this problem? Because it's actually one of the things holding the country back.
Yeah.
Without solving that problem, we are not going to attain the right level of meritocracy that we need to move ourselves forward.
No. That's why I'm bringing it up, because until we stop identifying ourselves based on ancestral heritage and name, the language. No, see, we cannot fully move forward.
You can't.
It's hard.
I'll give you an example. So in my business, there's nothing like family member or anything, it's all about, Oga, what can you deliver for this business? You know what I'm saying? So there's no nepotism, there's no tribalism, there's no, if you set up your business and you do tribalism,
now you will lose.
I'm going to carry your course. It's so straightforward.
Yeah.
And you don't look at it when you are dealing with a client, when you are proposing your service to someone, because at the end of the day, you want to deliver a good service and be successful.
Yeah.
But when it comes to government business, it becomes everything. Yes, I understand this thing about protecting interests. You don't want some people to be left behind because there's a lot of inequality in the country. Some people need to be protected. But is that the best way to do it? They're riding on the sentiment of the majority.
Yeah.
To protect the interests of a minority. That's it. The moment we understand the game, then we know what's up. But most of us don't. We don't know that, at the end of the day, those of you that have been propagandized into believing some of these things, you are not benefiting anything from it.
At all.
In fact, you are the ones that is being used or being sold.
Yeah.
For the interest or benefits of a few.
The few do not benefit. They don't. Because for the few to benefit, they need to solve the problem that is holding them down.
When I say the few, I'm talking about, the people pulling the strings. And I mean,
okay.
I don't want to name
yeah. I get you. Yeah.
But, identity politics taken to extreme extent.
Yeah.
Right? And that is one of the things holding us back, making it difficult.
It's a big deal.
good people running a number of things in this country, right? You know, we can talk about what to do. I mean, what solutions? Education, right? A proper legal framework to education is, for me, is fundamental.
Yeah.
You know, very fundamental. Right? A proper legal framework to protect people.
Yeah. To protect everybody.
To protect everybody.
Yeah.
You know, strengthening our institutions, awareness and sensitization, which is, you know, it's a form of education.
Biodun.
Yeah.
See, if education, like we talked about earlier, 12 years of education for everyone and a proper legal framework, that will solve 70% of the problem.
I agree.
Okay.
I absolutely agree.
That will solve 70% of the problem.
How do we make it happen?
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that maybe in another session. But I want to talk to you about this.
Yes.